Welcome back to The Exchange, a podcast featuring real stories, real people, and real purpose. Today's episode is part of a special edition two-part series featuring the Music is Unity Foundation, created by the legendary Phillip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Music is Unity partners with organizations nationwide to uplift and support young people aging out of the foster care system. And with Giving Tuesday coming up on December 2nd, the foundation is raising funds to expand access and opportunity for young people transitioning into adulthood. In this conversation, I'm honored to be joined by Mr. Phillip Bailey himself, musician, humanitarian, and founder of the Music is Unity Foundation. We'll explore the mission behind the organization, the impact it's having on foster youth across the country, and why this work continues to matter so deeply. Let's begin. We're here to talk about your foundation. I'm really excited to learn more about it. What is Music is Unity?
We started in 2007, and we looked for causes that were underserved and that we were passionate about. And because I'm a father of 7 and a grandfather of 7, people's well-beings are very important to me, children's well-beings. And so we investigated and found out that there were so many kids aging out of the system every year, and many of them finding themselves in precarious situations, in the system or trafficked or living under, bridges and all kind of craziness. And all because they just aged out of the system. And the government monies are no more subsidizing their foster parents. So we started to do more research on that and partnered with different organizations who are helping to change policies and that are helping foster youth navigate through this crazy world. In just the basic necessities of life. And so a portion of our ticket proceeds go toward Music is Unity, and then we fund organizations that are doing the daily work that need funding. They send grants to us, and we vet them out, and then we'll support those organizations. We also do a thing that we call our backstage sound check program, and we introduce foster youth to our touring entourage, all the different aspects of it, in hopes that if any have any aspirations in concert touring. One young man, interestingly enough, his name is Drion. We met in this process, and he has his own band now. He was in the foster system, has his own career, his family, and he's actually opened for about almost a dozen or more shows for us in the last few years. And so it's good to just see that kind of thing being played forward.
Now, when you say we, I read that your daughter was an integral part of the co-creation of this organization. What
Right.
inspired you both to create this charitable organization? Why did you want to give back in this way?
Well, like I was saying, with the love that we have for our family, we had several foster youth to come to the house here, and we had a little tea lunch kind of situation. And they gave us their experience just firsthand, what they had experienced in their lives. And boy, by the end of that conversation, man, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. And we had already started our foundation, but we were very much more engaged in knowing that this was something that we wanted to champion in the long haul. We know that it's meaningful, and we've seen lives changed and hope built. So we're in it to win it.
When you're coming up with a name for this organization,
Mhm.
why was Music is Unity the name that you selected?
We were on a tour with Chicago, Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. And I was sitting there watching the body language of people who came to the shows. Many of them were fans of one or the other band and didn't know what to expect. And by the end of the night, the body language had changed so drastically. The interaction between people in the house had changed so drastically that I said, man, it's really interesting and true that music brings people together. And so the phrase music is unity came to mind. And I said, I think we should call our foundation that music is unity.
Music does bring people together. I think it's really healing. And so that's really cool. Now, one of the people that has benefited from your organization you mentioned, his name is Drayon. And
Yes.
so now he's an ambassador. Is that right?
Absolutely. I was saying that his journey is one that is really indicative of what we want to do. Find people in a certain situation and support them and help them and watch their journeys and watch them succeed. And then they come back and pass it on, grab some people behind them and are able to make a difference. That's what Dreon has been able to do. And it's very exciting.
I think it's really great that he can speak to his experiences with that system and the transition involved with aging out of it and share with the world what that really entails, because the emotional and financial barriers that are created when young people are emancipated from the foster care system. I know that that unification that your organization is helping to provide is changing lives. I'd love to know more about the backstage sound check. I've seen that it awakens an interest in music for young people, but how does it help them see themselves in the music industry?
Well, it's interesting. It's just a bridge, really. Many of the folks that come to the backstage sound check and then go to the concerts have never been to concerts before, have
Wow.
never really seen a live show, and they don't really know what it all involves. So we show them at a sound check firsthand, okay, what's going on, what we're doing, and how this whole process, this whole staging and the concert production, how it all works together. And they always have questions that we can answer, and then, we have questions that they can answer.
The music industry is very alluring, right? I think people who love music, they really don't have an idea. And when you mentioned that some of them have never been to a concert before, I got chills, because to see and experience the music that is probably helping them through really difficult times, to
Mhm.
see that brought to life on stage, I can just imagine how that feels and how much hope it inspires.
Yeah, it really inspires hope because we don't really understand, those of us who are blessed to have support systems and blessed to be able to have goals and see those goals realized and all that kind of stuff. We don't really understand what it is to not have that. And a lot of times these folks have lost the sparkle in their eyes. And so it's one of those kinds of situations where if we can be a bridge or we can be a light or an inspiration, it means the world to them.
I'm sure it's inspiring coming from you in particular, as a member of Earth, Wind, and Fire, one of the most famous musical groups of all time. What is one of the biggest life lessons or industry lessons you've learned throughout your career?
Well, I would say that the biggest life lesson and it really is true, that we all, no matter where we are, can make a difference. Right where we are, our interaction with one another and our interactions, if we just so happen to be on the stages of our own particular lives, we can all make a difference. It's an attitude and it's a determination.
Mm. Speaking of our ability to make a difference, how can we support Music as Unity, or how would you encourage people to support young people aging out of the foster care system in collaboration with the work that you're doing?
Well, I would say to do some research in your own communities about your foster situation and how you can help. But you can also go to musicisunity.org to find out what we're doing and champion with us and become a part of making these folks' lives better.
I look forward to continuing to see what the organization does and to continue to watch the impact that you're making. Thank you so, so much for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. I'm really honored to speak with you, and best of luck in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much.
The Music is Unity Foundation exists to uplift and empower foster youth as they transition into adulthood by partnering with and funding nonprofit organizations that offer vital support services to young people aging out of the foster care system. If you're able, please consider making a donation at musicisunity.org on or before Giving Tuesday, December 2nd. And remember to keep this important work in mind throughout the year. Every gift helps expand access, opportunity, and hope for young adults stepping into a new chapter in their lives. Thank you. We'll see you next time.